Hey, my roses. It's your community peer support specialist and the Hood's recovery coach. And I just feel like this needs to be said at this point, man. I done seen that viral video of that woman dragging her child by the hair. And there's so many different components to this that I want to talk about. But I'm going to talk about this specific component right here. Mental health. Ignoring mental illness in the black community like that's not what's going on. The dysfunction that's taking place in the black community is linked to mental health, mental illness, and the mental illness is coming from the food that we eating and the environment that we're in. These are systemic issues that we're dealing with. We're dealing with the results of a systematic oppression of us, and we are ignoring what mental illness look like. We are ignoring what mental illness shows up as. We act like this is normal shit that people are doing right now, and it's not. When we gonna start saying, okay, we gotta start doing a little bit better at administering support to the women in our black community, especially the women, because we're carrying the bulk of the load. Whether you feel like it's our fault, whether you feel like we deserve it, whether you feel like this is a bed that we made that we gotta lay in, everybody suffer when we suffer. Everybody suffers when we suffer. There is like a huge domino effect that takes place when mothers are suffering, because what we tend to do when we're suffering is we raise children that go through suffering, and when children go through suffering, they grow up to be shitty adults for the most part. And if they're not shitty adults, they are average adults trying to get through a lot of trauma. Even if they're phenomenal adults, the trauma that we're inflicting on each other don't make no goddamn sense. And we all came here to live our own journeys. Why people feel like it's okay to impede on other people's journey is beyond me. But at what point are we going to start looking at a lot of this dysfunctional behavior as what it is? Mental illness. We have so much mental illness running rampant in the black community that just gets swept under the rug. At what point are we gonna own up to it, admit it, say it's happening, so that we can start getting the proper help for it? Because it's getting crazy, man. That lady drugged that baby by her hair like wasn't nobody looking. Like that shit is legal. That is mental health. That is somebody that is suffering, struggling from depression, anxiety, schizophrenia. Something is going on. Y'all, there's a diagnosis for this shit. It's not normal, man. It's not normal. And at what point are we going to stop doing this whole ignoring the signs, the warnings, ignoring the people's calls for help, ignoring that they need help, pointing and laughing, and then when you get the full-blown results of some shit, saying, ooh, look at her, ooh, she wrong, ooh, she don't deserve kids, ooh, she don't deserve to be a mother. Man, I mean, listen, that shit might be true, but I'm sure there were warning signs that came before that fall. I'm sure of it, and I'm sure those warning signs were ignored. Nobody took the shit serious. At what point are we gonna start looking at black mothers in particular like humans? Like people that deserve assistance and help, like they are, like we somebody's mama, like we're really raising the next generation. Are y'all sure y'all want to just ignore our cries for help when we're saying we're struggling? Never mind financial situations that's going on, putting pressure on people's backs. Just life in general will make you feel like, what the fuck? I think there should definitely be more of a push and more of a call to help struggling black single mothers with their mental health, man. Definitely needs to be that. And I feel like, the best way to do that is leading by example. I know me personally, I just uploaded a short where I was saying a lot of my depression and my anxiety show up as anger. It show up as anger, but the only reason I know that is because I go to therapy. The only reason I have the tools that I have to use is because I go to therapy and I read. I need my black mothers to start investing in themselves like that, man, because it's the only way we're going to find some resolve for the things that we're going through. You know, you have to go get that outside help. You have to ask for the assistance, man. And I know it's not easy to ask for the assistance, but before it gets to the point where you feel like it's okay to drag your child in public like that, you should be asking for some help.